February 6th, 2026, day 5 of meditations in a year of high consequence. But I'm just calling this as the Intrepid Citizens Council meeting. It's usually going to be an hour long, possibly, but I only have room for another 15 minutes, and then I got to start making the edits, or it'll be I'm running out of data, and that's a natural pace. And for now, that's what's going on. I want to try to get to some specific projects because that's where we're at. And everything's got three sides to it. There's a three-sidedness embedded in everything. We're not quite getting to that. The Christians allude to the whole Trinity and the Trinity within. Ow. And it's fractal in all directions. Presencing. It's information theory involves kind of a paradox of three as well. Not to mention, you know what, what I've heard, well, I saw it in the thing, the formula, that the string theory formula, it's like 3 lines long on a chalkboard, really kind of complicated for non-math. Simple for the idea that it draws all 19 parameters in one place. And it has a repeating parenthetical that's three-sidedness as well. And there's a three-sidedness to this very video, is what I was going to say. It's a notes to myself and the one mind, and to others who may be trying to do things similar, get outside the box of having to make it all for profit, where we can come together and just get to providing and do it away from the finger pointing. People have these slogans, just build the positive, and but now do it for real. This is how you do it for real. And there's also the slogan of we're all one mind and we're all one people, and then you want to go point fingers at the elites because it's so tantalizing, so easy to do. Jesus, people pointing fingers at themselves all the time. I don't need to, I should be validating why I'm just talking to a video instead of doing all other kind of things like making art and all this. I'm gonna do that too, eh? But it's cold. I need to roust up some more actual cash. I have steady income, but I've been making connections over there in the Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Gambia. A couple people, I know what's going on out there, man. It's much closer to the edge. And we're going to feel it over here soon. So get to some of those projects. And this being the third one today, day 5, meditations in a year of high consequence. Also, Strategic Utopian is a page I got on Facebook. Oh, it could be the name of a company. Neighborhood Party Unlimited is a real project, as well as possibly a way to talk to each other in different fractals of relevance. But this is the global Intrepid Citizens Council, and we're going to get to some actual projects that can start happening right away and visualizing others. Starting with my friend over there in Tanzania, Mkwawa, and his app, Mseli. Did I get that right? Mseli. Ways to pronounce strange words. That was the first edit. Okay. Other projects along those lines of apps, but conceptually, when you're working towards this new paradigm, define that properly. That could be a little booklet. We could be producing a bunch of little booklets about what this all means. Get a groundswell of understanding. There's already I'm trying to, I like or follow all the stuff that looks cool to me that pulls in this direction. But are we competing to get people's attention? Yeah, okay. So it'd be nice. Everybody fractals out and takes care of their neighborhood, whatever their part is. And how do we work more coherently together? How do we get into the new paradigm with all these things that are sort of drifting towards that, but are stuck in the old paradigm? So that's why I'm proposing the Neighborhood Party Unlimited as kind of a virtual, or if you want to say cartoon. People should lighten up, but at the same time, get real. And that's the problem. People get trying to defend their thesis. It gets too stuffy, and we don't deal with what's really going on in a lived way. You have to have a sense of humor. Get real. To keep it personal, we can now do it. I mean, there was a rise when all these techniques of mass production turned into refinement of process. If we want this to serve humans and bring it back to what it all means, we need to start bringing it back to the context of community in our production and in our consumption. And people think that's communism. It's totally not. I'm not saying people think that's communism. I'm saying you can dismiss this whole thing as communism, but it's neither. This is not on the map as far as I understand it right now. It's what would be the high synthesis of left and right, where the left wants to take care of everybody and be responsible to all the resources and be, honor people's pain and all this and be compassionate. And the right wants to make sure we're doing it for real, being accountable to all the resources, people taking care of themselves and their family first. And obviously, to me, it's obvious both high values have to work together. And again, here I go lost in the abstracts. But the point is, there's a lot of evidence now about how bad it can get if you just base the whole thing on it's okay to go make a career. It starts right there. You fracture the family, everybody goes off into different careers. And why are you even doing it? You got to send money back to all of these all the issues we have. Why does everybody want to come to the United States? Because, yeah, there's an excess of resources here. I think it's karmically, I want to say, from the pure materialite, you say, okay, random chance, the United States has all the resources. No, it's important that there be a place where we can do the next 3 years. I'm going to say it's all karmic, meant to be. It's got 3 dimensions. It's spiritual, meant to be from the Jehovahite side, because this is how it's going to break. It's another dimension. It's meant to be personally from higher sense of who you are, connected to the source of all, which is a presence field. And the third version is we've got to do it in the real world, and because the real world is not separate from these other two. And if you translate that, bring that all together, it means probably what you really love to do is connected to perhaps your spirit vision from a higher place, and um, you can get to upgraded versions of that by connecting to spirit yourself. But there's also older souls and a whole team that's got your back, and you might want to listen to Jehovah's word because there's a lot of good stuff there. But at the same time, I want to point out that the Bible itself is one. It's just like if everybody else does nothing, it's going to come to that. We're going to be forced to take the mark of the beast. It's going to be a lockdown. Even then, it might be a world war or rationing or all the bullshit, all the bad stuff. In that context, the elite have it right. Grab the money and run as far as you can. Mars would be an interesting, but I don't think that's going to be fun. Nobody really wants that, including the elites. But they're the last people to figure out what to do because, the Ebbs files demonstrated that it's real, how dark it gets when you get towards the top. But are there people trying to be right from the very top? Yes, there are. I would suggest Exxon Musk. Mispronounced that one wrong, and it was funny. But yeah, I think he's real. And Trump is an elite that just instinctively trying to just open it up. That's why it took him a while to release all that, the Ebb files, because he's outing all his people in his circle of elites. But that doesn't mean the rest of us have to. The rest of us still represent the whole consumer base, the whole labor base, and it's not us versus them. We have to find a new paradigm that functions. The current one is based on the old everyone in it for themselves marketplace. It started out you're offering a wholesome product. It got corrupted by the very premise that you're looking out for yourself first. Took it to the extreme. Can we stop pointing fingers, get to constructive solutions? And again, I'm going abstract. Obviously, I guess more points needed to be made, let's say. I'm not going to question myself. And this does get more constructive. Okay, we got those apps and we got projects. I had vision about it. But you break them down, you can do it comprehensively as a single company that starts to offer more of the resource space that everybody needs as direct connection to other companies that provide it, and you have an inside, more cooperative deal. It's not socialism, it's not communism, and it's not giveaways, but it is as friendly as possible because you want your network of allies to thrive. And now you've shifted the whole tone and energy of the paradigm itself. And now you got a place where you can offer people on the street that just want to keep it cool and don't want to connect to everything that looks to them greedy and weird and self-serving, or pointless and like open to corruption, which would be the left-wing version of things. uh yeah, this is a way, I think, for the nonprofits to get more credibility and stop necessarily dependent on tax money. But you can connect. This is the first another project. Yeah, I almost forgot what's going on in Uganda and why I'm a little short to fix my electric guitar and start just pumping out more music, buying art supplies, pushing that out. Connections on the ground, because there's the first thing where there's extra money floating around is now that everything looks corrupt from a government nonprofit. Where's this money going to go? Well, there's proposals. I got at least 8 of them I could put on. I'm trying to put it together about how you start with permaculture farms and then what else do you need. I'm trying to get them thinking. Uh, and but the same applies to this side of the ocean, although we already got a lot of it. And how do we just lash together what's already there, like automotive shop we need on this side, obviously. Can we get carpentry shops and other things? We can fix our own furniture, and the people that need to fix their houses, insulation, all this. Do it more cooperatively among friends, companies, inside deals, and then you can do barter for some of it. And all this is just fractals of what can happen. And it gives an example of how the energy could be good, and you could run. You know, every town's got a Walmart. There's your pinnacle, top of the peak. Like, how do we end up talking to Walmart? So they start using their resources more in the service of community. And then, you think the Waltons need to worry about their generations of profit? I mean, of wealth. Could you all relax a bit? You guys have it locked in. As long as this Earth survives and doesn't implode. So now you've got interest, perhaps, on the Waltons now to and they probably think they're doing the best they can right now, providing the best prices and the best salary they can, and they probably are. But we can make the salary thing different because you're going to just provide more resources directly because you've got inside deals on local permaculture farms, and then maybe Walmart could help give us inside deals on the fertilizer, and let's get to the organic stuff because there's no point in taking shortcuts. Every shortcut is only for profit. If you get to like you're trying to serve and sustain, you wouldn't do a shortcut that poisons because you're only going to have to pay for it somewhere else. But to expect that this wouldn't be happening, that's also what's wrong with you. If you start with, I'm sorry, that's because I'm saying what's wrong with all of you. Thinking that like, oh no, so we're going to have to fix this little bit about when people start corrupting or taking it. No, because the whole thing's based on incentivizing shortcuts to make an extra dime. So it takes somebody like Bobby Kennedy. Right, I'm impressed that we have an actual government agency that's trying to, for real, keep it real and get it real. So everybody talking about politics, look at that as a shining example of it is possible to get it right, but it's not simple. And the neighborhood party, there's different ways to do direct democracy, especially with all this new electronics, where you can have representatives that you don't necessarily give up your vote, you just lend it to them for a minute. And if you want to show up and take it back, well, I'm at this meeting today, I'm going to vote, and then you're the one vote. Otherwise, he's got whoever voted for him. That's how many votes they wield. That's the shorthand of a potentially direct democracy process. Yeah, I know how to build political parties. There's all kind of things that can happen, and it's time to break it out in a friendly way that makes it relaxed. So this is the third meeting. No, it's just the 45th minute of the meeting of the Intrepid Citizens Council, and maybe get these groups happening so people can respond in a place that's it's going to be public. Nobody's tuning in, and there should be no paranoia. I'm specifically addressing the elites, so-called, anybody that lizard draconians. This is a process of evolution. Evolution, strangely, is Jehovahite as well, because he's the one saying this whole thing moves to the next level. So, and it took this long to get here. And he's trying to open up to the fact that we all do have agency. People want to make him wage. You don't want to wave magic wands too often. There's blowback. That was another thought I had. The whole thing about getting in the game as he has, if you're going to be a gangster spirit energy, which and I'm telling you, he's the daddy of the material plane. But the rest of us have already made our connection to spirit, at least some of us, it feels like. And that's what the whole Buddhite thing's about. And they're claiming and have very precise vision about the energies that are coming into play. Another reason I'm stepping up every day. Energy's coming into play. You must step up every day. And the arts and music is going to show the way. Um, but it's about joyous engagement, or we're not going to have the right energy. That's one of my non-laws. I got law number 0 law. Principle number 0. There are no laws. Whatever. Number 1. If it's not fun, we ain't getting it right. There was a second one. Keep dancing? I don't know. But no, it's intentionally lighthearted, but not to be taken lightly. It's time to step up